Dve Vidye Veditavye. This chapter has been taken from Mundaka Upanishad. First chapter, Prathamaha Khandaha. Dve Vidye Veditavye. Two types of education have to be obtained. प्रकृतः द्वे विद्ये वेदितव्ये इति पाठः अथर्ववेद अन्तर्गतायाः मुण्डकोपनिषदः प्रथमखण्डात् सङ्गृहीतः. The current Dve Vidye Veditavye chapter has been taken from Mundakopanishad, first chapter of Mundakopanishad, which is included in Atharva Veda. अस्मिन् पाठे शौनकः इति गृहस्थः अध्यात्मविद्यां प्राप्तुम् अङ्गीरसः समीपं गत्वा विद्याविषयकं प्रश्नं च पृच्छति. In this chapter, they explained that a householder by name Shaunaka goes to a sage by name Angirasa to obtain Adhyatma Vidya, that is spiritual education. And he asks a few questions to him. Guruhu tasmai aksharam brahma iti upadishati. He, the teacher, master, teaches him that what is aksharam brahma, what is brahma, what is the supreme power, imperishable aksharam, imperishable power, energy. What is it? Guruhu explains him, teaches him. Vishwamidam aksharat sambhavati iti pratipadayati. He explains that this world is origin from that supreme eternal Brahma, imperishable Brahma. That is the content of this part. In this chapter, they have given all the verses, hymns from this Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, where they explain how this Aksharam Brahma Vidya, spiritual education, passed from one person to another person. The first shloka. Om Brahma Devanam Prathamah Sambhabhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta Sa Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharvaya Jyeshthaputraya Praha. Here the words, some of the words need to be splitted and understood. Sarva Vidya Pratishthanam. Sarva Vidya Pratishthanam plus Atharvaya. That way we have to split this word. Now let's understand the meaning. Brahma, the creator, the Lord, as we all know. Devanam Prathamaha, who is the first God. In a simple way, let's understand all this. The first God Brahma, Sambhabhuva, took birth, appeared. Vishwasya Karta, as the creator of this world. Bhuvanasya Gopta, as the protector of this world. Sambhabhuva, when we say, it doesn't mean like the way we are born, Brahma was born. Not like that. He appeared. He just appeared. Being the protector of this world, being the creator of this world, first he appeared. Saha, he, Brahma Vidyam, Sarva Vidya Pratishtham. Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Brahma Vidya. That way we need to understand. Sarva Vidya, all kinds of education. It's Pratishtha, base. What is it? Brahma Vidya, the spiritual education. The spiritual education which is the base of all kinds of education. That spiritual education, Atharvaya Jyeshthaputraya Praha. Lord Brahma taught his eldest son Atharva. Brahma's eldest son was Atharva. In other words, Brahma created Atharva first. Before creating anything else in this world, Brahma created Atharva, sage Atharva first. So he is his Jeshtha Putra. That way he is his first eldest son. Praha, he taught. The entire summary of the first shloka is the Lord Brahma, who is the first God, appeared as the creator of this world and the protector of this world. He taught the spiritual education, which is the base of all kinds of education, to his eldest son Atharva. अथर्वेण यां प्रवदेत ब्रह्मा अथर्वा अथर्वणे यां प्रवदेत ब्रह्मा अथर्वा तां पुरोवाचाङ्गिरे ब्रह्मविद्याम् स भारद्वाजाय सत्यवहाय प्रह भारद्वाजो अंगिरसे परावाराम. Here the words splittings are Brahma plus Atharvaya, Pura plus Vacha plus Angire, Bharadvajaha plus Angirase. Here there are two people, Angiraha, Angihi and Angirasaha. Angihi and Angirasaha. Don't get confused. They are different. Angihi is one, Angirasaha is another one. Let's understand the meaning. Atharvane yam pravadeta Brahma. The spiritual education which was taught by Brahma to Atharva, pravadeta, taught. Brahma, by Brahma to Atharva, Atharvane. Atharva tam pura angirase Brahma vidyam uvacha. That Brahma vidyam, that spiritual education, Atharva, who had obtained it from his father Brahma, taught to the next person, Angi. Next person was Angi. Pura uvacha. Pura means before. Before, long ago. Long ago, Atharva taught Brahma Vidya, which he had got from his father, to Angi, a sage by name Angi. Atharva is also a sage. Angi is also a sage. First, Brahma Vidya was taught from Brahma to his eldest son Atharva. Now, Atharva is teaching this to the next person, Angi. So, three people, Brahma, Atharva, and Angi. Angi is the third person who has got the spiritual education, which is the base of all kinds of education. Then, Saha Bharadvajaya Satyavahaya Praha. Saha, he, Angi, who had got this education from Atharva, now taught this to Bharadvaja Satyavaha, sage Satyavaha, who belongs to Bharadvaja clan or Bharadvaja clan. So Satyavaha is the next person who received it. Angi taught this education to Satyavaha Bharadvaja. Satyavaha and Bharadvaja are not two different people. They are not two different people. Don't get confused. Satyavaha is the sage who belongs to Bharadvaja clan. So he is Bharadvaja Satyavaha. Now, Bharadvaja Satyavaha is the next person who got Brahma, Atharva, Angi, then Bharadvaja Satyavaha. Now, Bharadvaja Satyavaha taught this to Bharadvajo Angirase Paravaram. Bharadvaja Satyavaha taught this to the another sage by name Angirasa. Angirasa is the next person who got this education. Which education? Brahma Vidya. What kind of education it is? Paravaram Brahma Vidya. So the last word, Paravaram, describes Brahma Vidya, the spiritual education. What does it mean? Paravara means the education which gets passed from one person to another person in a traditional way. Guru and Shishya, that parampara tradition, in that parampara, the education which is learnt is called Paravara education. So here Paravara Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya is that kind of education. It is passed from one sage to another sage, one person to another person. That way, Paravara Brahma Vidya was taught to Angirasa. Brahma, Atharva, Angi, Satyavaha Bharadwaja, and then Angirasa. This way it has come till Angirasa. After that, Shaunakoha vai Mahashalo Angirasam Vidhivadupasannaha Papracha Kasminnu Bhagavo Vijnate Sarvamidam Vijnatam Bhavatiti. Till now, till here, this education, spiritual education, was passed to one person, from one person to another person, one sage to another sage. That we have to understand. Not any common man had got this so far. It was passed from a spiritual person to spiritual person, from a sage to sage, from Brahma till Angirasa. All the sages, one after another, had received it. Now, first time, a Mahashalaha Shaunakaha. Mahashalaha means a Grihasthaha, householder, like any other common man. Householder, Grihasthaha, house lord we can call. Mahashalaha, by name Shaunaka. His name was Shaunaka. Shaunaka is the next person who had received it. Went to Angirasa. Angirasam, he went to Angirasa sage who had got this education already. He went to Angirasa and Vidhivat Upasannaha. He didn't simply go, he approached as a student in a proper method. Vidhivat, like students take admission in schools and become students. Not just like that they go there. There is a process. They follow that process and take the admission in the school. That way, following a proper process of becoming a student of a guru in a Gurukula, Shaunaka, a householder, went to Angirasa. If he had gone just like that, Angirasa would have not taught him. So there was a requirement of being a student, Antevasi, Shishya, Shishyaha Guruhu. It is very formal. We have to understand. So in a very formal way, proper way, he upasannaha, he approached. Vidhivat means in a very formal way, he approached. Who approached? Shaunakaha approached. Who is Shaunakaha? He is a Mahashalaha. He is a Grihasthaha, house lord, householder. But he had interest to learn the spiritual knowledge, so he went to Angirasa and became his disciple, became his Shishya. And he asked, Papracha means asked. He asked his teacher, his master, Angirasa. Kasminnu bhagavo vijnate sarvamidam vijnatam bhavatiti. Bhagavan, my Lord, my Master, tell Kasminnu vijnate. After understanding what? Sarvamidam vijnatam bhavati iti. Everything else will be understood. Tell me that by understanding which everything will be understood. Nothing will be left without understanding. So everything will be understood. That kind of knowledge or education or anything, if there is, please teach me. He knew it is the spiritual education. After obtaining, nothing will remain in this world ununderstood. Everything will be understood. What is it? He asked. Kasminnu bhagavo vijnate sarvamidam vijnatam bhavati. Hey, Master, let me know after understanding what everything else will become understood. So here the splittings, Mahashalaha plus Angirasam, Vidhivat plus Upasannaha, Sarvam plus Idam. Tasmai sa hovacha. Ha plus uvacha, Cha plus eva plus apara. That way some words have to be splitted and understood. Tasmai sa hovacha. Sa is he. Here he is Angirasa. Angirasa. Tasmai is to him, whom? Shaunaka. So Angirasa hovacha, told him. He told him, Dve Vidye Veditavye. There are two types of education have to be learned, obtained, understood. Yad Brahma Vido Vadanti. That way, the great people who know Brahma Vidya, who know the spiritual education, or who have understood Brahma himself, Brahma itself, because the Brahma, the creator, Brahma, the absolute knowledge. People who know it, they say that there are two types of education have to be understood, obtained, studied that way. They are para cha apara. Para apara cha. Paravidya and aparavidya. Here, para is completely spiritual. It is necessary for the ones who are very close to moksha or liberation. Apara is something which people like us have to learn to lead a quality life, to lead a good life in this planet. We need to gain. That is almost worldly. But para is completely spiritual. So there are two kinds of education which people have to learn. Here it is elaborated. Then what is apara and what is para? Tatra apara, there apara is not completely worldly but likely to be worldly. So it helps the people in this planet to live a lead a quality life. So they are Rigvedaha, Yajurvedaha, Samavedaha, Atharvavedaha. Four Vedas. Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chandaha, Jyotisham. They are called Vedangas, parts of these four Vedas. Six Vedangas, four Vedas are called Aparavidya. This was the syllabus in Gurukulas earlier. People used to learn this in the Gurukulas. So, Aparavidya people have to learn. That is the first step. We can call the basic education. People learn this and lead a quality life. But atha parayaya tad aksharam adhigamyate. Para is the next vidya which is very, very important, which also have to be learnt. That is paravidya, by which yaya tat aksharam adhigamyate. That akshara will be understood. Tat aksharam adhigamyate. That akshara will be learned, understood. What that is? What is that? Aksharam, naksharam aksharam. Imperishable, absolute, supreme reality is called aksharam. That is paravidya. Understanding that, learning that, studying that is called paravidya education. Tatra plus apara, samavedaha plus atharvavedaha, jyautisham plus iti, tat plus aksharam plus adhigamyate are the splittings. So once again, as a summary, if we understand that, aparavidya, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandaha, Jyotisham. Description of every topic is not required. What is Rigveda? What is there in that? What is Yajurveda? That all is not necessary to know at this point for the students of first PUC. Just remember the names of these topics which are included in Aparavidya. In Paravidya, what the students learn or disciples learn is Tat Aksharam, that absolute supreme reality, imperishable reality. Now, the first word is bit long, which has been splitted and given down. Yat plus tat plus adreshyam plus agrahyam plus agotram plus avarnam plus achakshuhu tat plus apani padam tat plus avyayam yat bhuta yonim. Just keep referring to it. Now they are describing the aksharam. Understanding aksharam is paravidya, which is the ultimate vidya, and after so many births, probably we will be eligible to get that, and which will lead us to the liberation or moksha. And every living being has to gain it one day. So many eras may pass, so many lives may pass, so many births may pass, crores of births we will take. So we will not realize in one birth. In one birth only we gain aparavidya, and even that will not be gained completely, partially, and that will not be sufficient for the soul to get the liberation. So one more birth will be taken. And in that birth also it will not happen, then one more birth will be taken. So that way crores of births will be taken, and one day the soul probably will reach a stage where it can gain or take that paravidya, learn that paravidya and understand aksharam brahma. So what is aksharam brahma that they are describing here? Angirasa is explaining this to Shaunaka. Yat tat adreshyam, which can't be seen through our eyes, invisible. Agrahyam, can't be captured through our sense organs. So, beyond the capture of sense organs. Agotram, it doesn't belong to any clan, any family background, anything, root of that will not be there. Avarnam doesn't belong to any class. It doesn't belong to any class. Can't be described, can't be explained. Achakshuhu, ashrotram, has no ears, has no eyes. It is not like any human being. Can't be seen, and it also doesn't have eyes and ears, so that what we say it can hear. No, it is beyond all that. We should not understand that it is handicapped. Please don't understand like that. Aksharam Brahma is not like that. It is beyond all these. Beyond all the capabilities we have. We can hear, we can see, we have a gotra, clan, family background. We can be understood by others. We can be seen by others. We have a class. But this Aksharam Brahma is beyond all these. Far, far from our imagination. Apani Padam doesn't have hands. Pani means hands. Padam is legs. Continuation of this. So it doesn't have anything what we have. It doesn't mean that it is handicapped or it is not capable of doing what we do. No, it is beyond all this. Superior than all this. It doesn't require all this, what we have. It is nityam, eternal. Always it is. It doesn't get destroyed. Omnipresent, vibhum. Omnipresent it is, vibhu. Everywhere it is, eternal it is. Everywhere it is present. Sarvagatam. And it's not that this Aksharam Brahma is somewhere in some other galaxy or somewhere. No, Sarvagatam, it's there everywhere, in everything. In every atom it is existing. We can't realize because we are not eligible. We have not made ourselves eligible to visualize that or understand that. But it is present everywhere in anything, any particle, any atom. So sukshmam, very minutest. So we are not. In which way minutest? It's not like we can't see, we may be able to see through microscope. No, not like that. Not like that. It can't be understood by people like us who have not trained ourselves to be eligible to understand all this. So Sukshmam, very small, minutest. Avyayam doesn't change. Avyaya is something which doesn't change. It is always in one form. And dhiraha, intelligent people, people with great wisdom, they are called dhiraha here. They consider this, paripashyanti, they see this, they understand this, they consider this Aksharam Brahma as Yad Bhuta Yonim, Yat as Bhuta Yonim, the root of all the living beings, the root of all the beings, not only living beings. That living being, non living being will not make any sense here. All the beings. Bhuta is all the beings. Bhuta Yoni means root of, source of, cause of all the beings. What is it? That Aksharam Brahma. The Aksharam Brahma is the root or cause of all the beings. That way, Dhiraha, great wise people, sages, they consider, they understand, paripashyanti, they see. With a comparison or with an example, Angirasa is making this clear to Shaunaka. यथोर्णनाभिः सृजते गृह्णते च यथा पृथिव्याम् ओषधयः सम्भवन्ति यथा सतः पुरुषात् केशलोमानि तथा अक्षरात् सम्भवतीह विश्वम्. यथा प्लस ऊर्णनाभिः पृथिव्यां प्लस ओषधयः तथा प्लस अक्षरात् सम्भवति प्लस इह. Urnanabhihi means spider. Yatha, like a spider, srijate, creates threads, and grihnate, absorbs it back on its own, without any external material or without any external effort. Spider creates, generates the threads to make a web, and it absorbs it when it is not required. Again, without any external material or force or support or anything. And yatha prithivyam oshadhayah sambhavanti. Like prithivyam, in this planet Earth, herbs or plants take birth, are origined. On their own they grow. In forest, who will go and plant? They grow on their own and they perish on their own. They again grow. So that way, on their own, the way plants grow in this earth, yatha, like satah purushat keshalomani, from a living man, alive man, we can say, person, keshalomani sambhavanti. Keshalomani, hair and uh, hair in head as well as hair on head and other parts of the body. Keshalomani, like the hair on the body of a person, living person, appear on their own from body directly. From outside, someone will not bring them and plant. That is not the way. They naturally grow from there itself. That way, there are three examples. The way the thread is generated from a spider and gets absorbed back, the way the plants take birth on this planet Earth, the way the hair grows in the body of a man, tatha, that way, aksharat, from this akshara, the root cause of everything, which is imperishable and many adjectives we have seen, from that, Vishwam iha sambhavati. This world gets origined, created on its own without any other external support. From that akshara, Brahma, absolute supreme reality, the entire world gets origined. Iha Vishwam Sambhavati. This is the complete explanation. Now let's look into the exercise part. एकवाक्येन संस्कृतभाषया उत्तरं लिखता. Answer in a sentence. But now they are giving these questions in the form of MCQs, where options also you will see. Let's discuss quickly. Dve Vidyeke, which are two types of education. Para and Apara is the answer. Bhuvanasya Gopta Kaha, protector of the world. Who is the protector of the world? Answer is Brahma. Angihi Kasmai Brahma Vidyam Proktavan. Sage Angi taught Brahma Vidya to whom? It is to Bharadvajaya Satyavahaya. We can even write Satyavaha. Bharadvajaya Satyavaha. Mahashalaha Kaha, who is the householder? Shaunakaha. House lord was Shaunakaha. Vedangani Kati, how many Vedas parts are there? Parts of Vedas? Shat, 6. Agrahyam Kim, which can't be captured, held. Aksharam Brahma, the supreme Brahma. Vishwam Kasmat Sambhavati, from what the world is origined? Aksharat, from that Aksharam imperishable reality. The world is origined. Now, Dvitraihi Vakyaihi Samskrita Bhashaya, Kannada Bhashaya, Angla Bhashaya va Uttaram Likhata. In Sanskrit or in Kannada or in English, you are allowed to write the answers for these questions. First question, Brahma Vidyayaha Paramparam Likhata. Explain the chronology of Brahma Vidya. From which person to which person it has been passed. Starting from Brahma till Shaunaka, you have to write the names of all the sages. So explain it in multiple shlokas. It is explained. As a summary, write that in a paragraph. They have mentioned here 2-3 lines, but don't limit yourselves to only 2-3 lines. Write a paragraph. Aparayam Vidyayam ke antarbhavanti. What are included in Apara Vidya? Everything what they have explained, like 4 Vedas and 6 Vedangas, their names have to be written. Brahmanaha Swarupam Varnayata. Describe what is Brahma, the Aksharam Brahma, structure of Brahma, as explained in the shlokas. Like it can't be captured, it can't be seen, and all that. That has to be written. Vishwasya Utpattihi Kathamiti Sodaharanam Likhata. With example, explain how this world gets origined. Spider's example, earth's example, hair growing example, all that. 3 examples are given. With that example, explain this. How the world is origined. Now, Pathanama Ullikhya Kahakam Prati Avadatiti Samskrita Bhashaya Likhata. This means answer has to be written in Samskrita language. Kaha kam prati avadat. Who said to whom? Sarvamidam vijnatam bhavati. Meaning of this sentence is everything will be understood. So this sentence, who said to whom? And name of the chapter also, better you write. There is a practice to write like that. Para chaiva paracha. Para and apara. Somebody is saying this. One of the sage who is explaining the Brahma Vidya to the other sage is telling this. So who said to whom? That has to be written. Yad bhuta yonim paripashyanti dhiraha. Yad bhuta yonim paripashyanti dhiraha. This also has to be told from who said this to whom. So listen to the explanation. You will get it. Make a note and write. Manjushatah suktam padam chitva riktasthanam purayata. Take the answer words from the box and fill the blanks. Brahma devanam prathamaha sambhabuva. Prathamaha is the answer. Sarva vidya pratishtham atharvaya jeshtaputraya praha. Shaunakoha vai mahashalo angirasam vidhivat उपसन्नः पप्रच्छ यथा पृथिव्याम् ओषधयः सम्भवन्ति. Match the following. Atharva is Jeshtaputraha, Purushat Keshalomani, Satyavaha Bharadvajaha, Aksharam Susukshmam Shiksha Apara. This is the match the following. Now let's go through the questions on grammar related to this chapter from workbook Abhyasa Pustakam. Sandhim Vibhajata. Tatrapara. Tatra plus apara. Dirgha sandhi. यथोर्णनाभिः यथा प्लस ऊर्णनाभः गुणसंधि चैव च प्लस एव वृद्धि संधि. It is not necessary to write the name of the sandhi in the exam. You can just memorize the same examples which are given here. Questions will be taken from this only, as we had discussed in the introduction part. You just have to write that. For your reference or knowledge, additional knowledge, I am telling the names. ह प्लस उवाचा होवाचा गुणसंधि. विधिवत प्लस उपसन्नः विधिवद उपसन्नः जष्ट्वसंधि. भवति प्लस इति भवति इति दीर्घसंधि और सवर्ण दीर्घसंधि. नाउ समासा. अवर्णम न वर्णः यस्य तत् बहुव्रीहि. विधिवत विधिः इव. ज्येष्ठपुत्रः ज्येष्ठः च असौ पुत्रः च. न विद्यते पाणी च पादौ च यस्य तत् becomes अपाणिपादं बहुव्रीहि. न विद्यते गोत्रं यस्य तत् अगोत्रम again बहुव्रीहि. भूतानां योनिः भूतयोनिः तत्पुरुषः और षष्ठी तत्पुरुषः. ज्येष्ठपुत्रः is कर्मधारय. Now the missing forms of the Shabda Rupam. ब्रह्मा ब्रह्माणौ ब्रह्माणः. शौनकः शौनकौ शौनकाः. अंगिरसे अंगिर्भ्याम अंगिर्भिः. Now संभवति संभवतः संभवन्ति. वदामि वदावः वदामः. सृजते सृजेते सृजन्ते. This is धातु रूपम missing words. Pada parichayam. Grammatically, what are these words we need to explain? Atha is an avyayam. Adhigamya, adhigam, lep pratyaya. It's a lebanta avyayam. Lep pratyaya is there in that. Iti is also an avyayam. Now, samanarthaka padam. Putraha tanayaha. Brahma srishtikarta. Urnanabhihi markatakaha or luta synonym. Aksharam opposite words. Viruddha padam. Aksharam opposite is antonym is ksharam. Jeshtaha kanishtaha. Nityam anityam. Same questions and answers have to be memorized or remembered. Questions will be taken directly from this part in the grammar section of the question paper. Now, here is an important information. I have published a book by name Shabdarupam and Dhaturupam, which is available in Amazon, where there is a collection of multiple dhatus and shabdas and their forms. It is made for students only, useful for all the Sanskrit learners, not only the students who study in schools and colleges. For all Sanskrit learners, this is very much needed book, not only useful, needed book, must buy. With an effort of collecting all these and compiling everything, which took around 10 years for me, I have published this. You can scan the QR code or search in Amazon and buy this. It can be used by all the Sanskrit learners. Once a student in young age buys, will use it till he or she studies Samskrita. And later it can be passed to the next generation also, or anyone, the younger ones or anyone can make use of it. Very useful book, very much required book for the students. You may buy. Another book by name Vyakaranam. which is recently published, which describes all the topics of grammar. From class 6 to 10, I have mentioned, even for PUC students, it is useful to understand Sandhi, Samasa, Pratyaya, Shabdarupam, everything. So, this is also available in Amazon. You may buy this. That's all from this chapter. Thank you.